just missing Peter,
We're missing Peter.
but it's still
He is not able to make it tonight.
Oh, okay.
So quorum is 3, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So here we are, Public Market Advisory Commission. We are on the second floor of City Hall in City Council chambers. Do you want to do the roll call?
Yes, I will. Commissioner Santa Croce?
Close enough.
How do you say
Here,
that?
Santa Croce.
Santa Croce.
Yes, here.
Okay, sorry. Commissioner Pinozzo?
Here.
Commissioner Cacciari?
Here.
Sorry, guys, about this. Commissioner Getz?
Here.
And Commissioner Wolf is absent.
All right, approval of this agenda.
I don't have any changes.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All right, it is approved. And we move to the first public commentary for agenda items only. If anybody wants to make it. Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. My name is Debbie Marks. I've been a vendor at the Ann Arbor Farmers Market for 25 years. It's hard to get used to saying that after 25 years this year. And we are very thrilled with Stephanie as our market master. Everyone loves her warmth and friendliness. And we're helpful to her in any way that she needs it. Welcome aboard, and we love having you. And I think I speak for all the vendors.
Thank you.
Also, I know we're addressing the infrastructure, and I would just like to say that I would like to make another plea to Parks and Rec. Rather than spend $100,000 on a very small portion of the market, less than 1/9 the space, we have an opportunity to improve and update the existing market structure. Keep the outdoor tradition, yet have simple comforts. Lightweight sides that roll down and block, like I've noticed you've have at the lunchroom, which is very nice. We want that through the market in the winter. And a simple heat source. If you wanted a more formal entrance, extend the roof down the middle aisle to 4th Avenue, include electricity, and now we have 20 more stalls, and we sacrifice no parking. The parking is a nightmare in Ann Arbor now. It gets worse every day. We beg not to take our parking spots away to erect an event building, please. Parks and Rec, do the right thing, invest in these long overdue improvements to the existing market, and allow the Ann Arbor Farmers Market to provide the community with fresh, local produce and products and comfort. Let's create an atmosphere for an exceptional market experience in every season for all vendors and all customers. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, approval of minutes of previous meeting.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we are approved. Presentations, we don't have any, okay. And regular business, agenda items, market infrastructure project update, and that's gonna be coming from Parks and Rec, landscape architect, Amy Curas.
Sure, I'll give a quick, brief summary of what I included in the packet. And just wanted to say, Amy, thank you for coming. Amy is here to answer any questions. She's more familiar with the whole history of the project, so I felt inviting her here to be able to answer anything that I might not be able to answer would be good. So she's a great resource for us. In your packet included is just a project recap to bring us up to date. To note that we did receive additional funding after the project came in over budget last time. We did have to go back, and the DDA approved an amount of $200,000 more to cover costs associated with parking lot renovations and stormwater management at their meeting in March 2017. And the PMAC supported the use of an additional $100,000 from the market's available designated funds at the meeting last October. So since then, we have sent out a new bid on April 11th, and the bids are due May 9th. So Amy, if you maybe want to go over what's happening next.
So the last time we, when we bid out the project and the bids came in too high, we sat down with the low bidder and we did what's called value engineering to try to see what we could do to try to bring the project within budget. And we weren't able to quite get it down enough, but what we did was, since then, we basically took a lot of the ideas that we explored with that contractor, and we actually incorporated it into the bid that we've sent out. So what our goal was to not change really the look or the function of the building, but do things that would just maybe reduce the cost of it. So one of the things that we're doing, for example, is the existing design of the building had sort of a ledge on the outside, and we eliminated that ledge. So what's going to happen is the building will basically go straight down from the metal part to the ground. And there was a railing that went all the way around it, and so instead of that railing being exterior to the entire building, it's going to basically sit inside the openings of the doors, the overhead doors that will open and close. The previous bid had gates that opened at every opening, and we have that still, but we have a deduct to have 4 openings instead of the 8 on the sides, so sort of a little bit different on that one. And then there was also things that contractors weren't happy about doing, like, for example, the concrete foundation had this stamping kind of thing, and there were a lot of contractors that didn't quite know what to make of that, so we eliminated that, and I think hopefully we'll get some funding back on that. There was an additional overhang on the front and that extended beyond the roof line. We've cut that back a little bit, but still trying to maintain an overhang so that it doesn't just look like a warehouse. And then some finishes on the inside we've also changed and did some deducts. So I'm hoping that those will bring it down to between the money that we've sort of acquired since we sent out the bid the last time and the deducts that we're taking on this, we're hopeful that this will bring it to a point where we can actually construct the building. Question? Yep.
So as I read the math, we were, the shortfall was 500K back then.
Mm-hmm.
And we have since then, with additional PMAC funds and DDA, another wonderful DDA grant, we've taken 3 of that back.
Yep.
So what happens,
So then, from the last bid, when we worked with that engineer, we actually got it down 100,000. So the things that we've incorporated in the bid, we're anticipating that it's going to bring down the cost of the bid, hopefully by.
200,000? If we were short 5 and we picked up 3 external funding, we still got the $200,000
And I think we also got some additional developer contribution.
It's not accounted for in the memo, so what I see is short 5, up 3, leaving a spread of 2. I just wondered where, I didn't,
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure exactly where those funds are, but I can look into it and let you know next meeting.
And we also did take out some more, like this stamping of the concrete was
Yeah.
not something that we had talked about with the contractor before, so we're hoping that that's going to save
so
some
we
money.
might
So
get
we'll
it
see.
down to.
We're sure hopeful. I mean, the biggest thing is that we really didn't want to change the integrity of the look of the structure. You know, we weren't going to compromise on barrier-free access, and you know, it's very important to the DDA, who's funding a lot of this, to have a presence on Fourth that would improve the streetscape. So things like that, we were not going to change at all. And so we'll see how it goes. You know, we're also changing, for example, the railings were in unpainted aluminum, and now we're having a steel that's painted. So, you know, it won't look the same to the people that are seeing it. It's just a different kind of material.
Yeah, and just a note as well, one of, I think, the most pressing priorities was the parking lot pavement, which is put off along with the rest of the project. So staff is actually working with the city to fill in some of those potholes as a temporary measure to make it safer and flatter until we can do the final construction there.
And the project calls for the complete repaving of the whole lot?
Yep.
Well, that'll be nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
including-
pavement is getting worse by
I,
the minute.
And it also includes the area that's the entry off of Fifth, so next to Carytown, that as well.
Oh, nice.
I have a question about the construction timeline, because it says here, site construction beginning in November, completion of the structure by May, and of the site by June. That means the whole structure is being built off-site? Is that the
No.
plan? Oh.
So they will be building on site. We're talking more about the site amenities, like paving the parking lot. You know,
Okay.
you really can't do that until the spring.
Spring.
So we're anticipating that the building will be able to be occupied earlier, but the parking lot paving, I mean, they might even put gravel down and it'll still be usable to park, but then we'll have to close it for, a few days to get the paving done.
Mhm.
And then the planting and the rain garden and that kind of thing would happen in the spring as well.
Sounds
I
good.
think along those lines, as long as we don't interfere with market days. And, I mean, realistically, even in May, there are 4 days when there's no market there.
Right, and we've made it very clear in the schedule and the bid, as we did last time, that the market has to be open on the market days, and those days they won't be working, so, yeah.
And so what's the plan B if the bids are still too
That's
high?
the big question. I don't know at this point, yeah. Because I think that what we've done, I mean, I feel like we haven't explored anything that's really gonna change the structure much, and in order to do that, I think we basically have to go back to the drawing board again, meet with the committees that we met with last year, and rethink it.
Or find more money.
Or find more money, I guess, yeah.
Because right now, there's no money on the general fund for this, right?
No, and the other thing is that there are a few more developments that are coming down in the downtown, and I'm trying as much as possible to earmark funding to the farmer's market, whether it's for this project or future infrastructure improvements. So as those come on board, we will be getting more money from downtown development.
Or the chair could cut a check.
Say that again?
You could cut a check.
Oh, yeah, I have it, for sure. I can do that.
That came with the job, I told you.
Gosh.
All of the checks that you've written.
Yeah, all
So
that.
it's-
Is that why you're retiring?
Have we got, I'm thinking as large as the city is, are there any other building projects that have gone out to bid recently? Are we seeing a continued increase in building costs, or we don't really know?
So I just got bids back for an addition to the Bryant Community Center, and it was certainly, it was about 100,000 over the bid, so it's still, prices are still high, and they're still all coming in above what the architects are estimating, so it's the bad news about a good economy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other questions for Amy? Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, so the
Amy.
bids are due May 9th, and I will update you as soon as we know.
Sounds good, thank you. Any new business items? Nope. All right, and the market manager report. Stephanie?
Okay, my turn. Thanks, all. Happy to be here. So just to bring you up to speed on what I've been working on, a new partnership we have this spring is with the Be Safe Neighborhoods as part of the Ann Arbor's Be Safe City initiative, which they signed on to and adopted in September 2016. So we are partnering with Be Safe Neighborhoods to do some awareness raising about pollinator protection. We're offering farmers that use bee-friendly and pollinator-friendly practices on their farms little signs that say "Be Safe," so customers can see that and hopefully start a discussion about what that means. Also, we will be helping advertise during National Pollinator Week, sharing some of their posts on our Facebook and that kind of thing. So just kind of getting into that, helping raise awareness with them. Operations. we are, this is something I'm going to give a further, more detailed report on, probably next meeting, I believe. Hopefully we'll be far enough along then. The city will be redoing the streetscape design for Fifth and Detroit Street. That's going to be a big project coming up. So repaving the street and also redoing where that planter is along Detroit Street, getting some more seating and picnic tables and planters there. Across the street at Community High, putting in, it's a big project, putting in new crosswalk areas for people, so it'll be slower traffic, more areas for crossing, that kind of thing. So I'll include a map and everything with the design when I give the full report. So that's just an ongoing project the city is working on, that we're part of that discussion. One of the big things that I will be looking out for is making sure vendors pulling in and out on that street, that will remain. That's fine. That's not going to change. We'll still be able to get in and out. So I think that's one of the other big impacts that could have on the market, but we're making sure that, loading will not be affected. Marketing, just a small note, we were voted one of the 9 best farmers markets in Michigan by American Towns Media. So that was cool. And as you know, finally events, May is starting, so that means big things for us. The Wednesday market will be starting May 3rd, as well as our first food truck rally, as well as Saturdays starting sooner. So we have 13, I listed 12, there's an additional one. We have 13 food trucks signed up for this summer, this May. And that's more than we've had before. We actually had extra applications. We just couldn't accommodate everyone because of space. So it is becoming more popular, which is nice to see. There, kind of a note, one of the vendors, not listed here because the process is not finished, but we are working with the city to get a small meadery there as part of Michigan has a new law where small wineries and meaderies are able to give out samples and sell not beer to drink there at the event, but sell canned beer so that customers can take home with them. They might possibly be coming to Wednesday food truck rallies as well to give out samples because they are a new business in town in Ann Arbor, so that's different. So yeah, I think that those are big events that are coming up, things to look forward to. Yeah, any questions? Okay.
All right. And we have the second public comment period that is not limited to agenda items.
Hi, I'm still Debbie Marks. I know Parks and Rec keeps pushing for this building, but I'd like to remind them that the reason they said that they want it is so that we have a warm place to be in the winter. Our winter market attendance has already outgrown the small building space. That means a lot of the vendors would be left out in the cold, and the customers for them would be out in the cold, and the market would be divided. And most of us would really hate to see that. Again, this money could be better spent on improving what we have, taking better care of what we have and what we've had for a long time. And if we have the extra vendors in the summer and the harvest time, that can go in what we call the sand lot, the parking lot. And everyone can be accommodated again without parking being taken away. There are a lot of small, simple things we need. I would like to see power washing done in the market every other week, every week at harvest time. We rarely see that. If there's a wedding held there, they scurry around and clean up the main aisle and the parking lot. But that is a food place. Also, there are a lot of birds now nesting in the roof underneath. And there's netting there that seems to house them all. If that were taken down and the birds were shooshed away and they power washed in that and had no netting, they would have nowhere to nest. There's a lot of birds, and I see people in the morning with their coffee with the birds pooping in the coffee, and I know that's going on produce, And it's just really gross. And I would like to see us address, again, small things, not a $1 million building, but small farmer market needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? We are adjourned.
No, I beat that.